I want to.
Let me do my Monique impression.
No.
I need to spend more time with my husband.
No. She was like, I need to spend time with my husband. My husband need to do it. Well, okay. Anyway, they didn't give her money. And so when she told Oprah, she actually messed up when she did the whole Apollo thing and told them all to suck. If she was a man and she had a dick, told them to suck a dick and all that stuff.
Was this during a stand-up routine or just during a speech?
It was like a stand-up
It was
rant.
actually in the middle of Taylor Swift's acceptance speech.
Was this children's theater? Children's theater?
At the Apollo, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, I Googled in quotation marks, Monique, Dave Chappelle, who are the other, Amy Schumer, and who else?
How much did Cat Williams get?
And
for his special?
I don't know.
It was really good. It was funny.
But I Googled those names, and I got 1.5 million for Monique with her weird spelling of the M-O apostrophe. So, in other words, she might be more popular than Dave Chappelle, because most people don't follow stand-up. Most people don't. They know like 2 stand-up names, and like one of them's dead. Be like, I heard of Richard Pryor. So it could be that there is a demand for Monique. I don't know. Besides an Oscar winner, she's been on some shows, TV shows?
Yeah.
In the 90s?
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. She hasn't. Did you see what she said? She said in the 90s.
Yeah.
She just basically, when you win the Oscar, you have an opening, window opening. You just got to promote it to Drunk, because she did such a great job on Precious. That's when you'd have thought that here come the jobs, but she.
But that's happened with a lot of Oscar winners, hasn't it?
Yeah, a couple several have blown it or haven't gone on, right? Mm-hmm. It's almost a curse. But Adrian Brody. Yeah,
Adrian Brody, but he didn't get on and start, she went after Lee Daniels, she went after Tyler Perry, she went after Oprah, went after all those people.
Yeah, Adrian Brody just, mauled Halle Berry.
Yeah, there you go.
Wait,
which
what?
I don't.
He made out with her, like he kind of kissed her,
grabbed her, and gave her a big smooch, which she wasn't expecting or wanting. It's just one of those things that we look back and reflect on the Me Too moment. That's one thing with the Me Too moment. I'm kind of hoping the Oscars are going to have an in memoriam reel for all the careers of the men that have been taken down by Me Too. I just think part of the whole never forget. Just remember what we put up with for so many years and will no longer.
Oh, another.
Just a thought.
Yeah, of course. What is it? Weinberg. Who's the big one?
Harvey Weinstein.
I couldn't think of his name. I'm sorry.
Weinberg, Goldman, whatever.
I was thinking of something else.
We're all the same to you white people, aren't we?
Weinblatt. What?
Wine Jewy something. I don't know.
Manischewitz. That's a Jewish wine. No. Wait.
By the way, another person who's kind of had that Oscar curse, Cuba Gooding Jr.
Oh, isn't it Cuba? Is it Cuba or is it Cuba?
I don't know.
Yeah, Cuba. Yeah, but the star of Snow Dogs?
That's what I looked up. Was like, what's his name? Oh, I know. He was in Snow Dogs.
No, he was in American Horror Story, though.
Oh, really? Is that right?
Yeah, he was in Roanoke.
But the whole the difference is, though, they didn't come out bad-mouthing people.
Well, but I'm just saying he still had the same effect. In other words, even though he didn't badmouth, he had the same kind of career path.
So your point is there are plenty of ways to fuck up your career besides bad-mouthing the people who helped you
right.
get
but
to
on
where
one
you
hand, if it was bad-mouthing people, quote-unquote, allegedly, and she did it...
Well, there's no alleged.
Okay,
that happened.
Saying, if she did it during a stand-up routine... Don't you think she should have a little bit of leeway for that? Because so many people talk shit in their stand-up, and it's just jokes.
Well, right, but okay,
that's the thing.
Okay,
and as
are we saying there might be a different standard for an African-American female?
If you Google, and we know the difference, if you Google the things that she said, okay, you look it up, and...
I'm not saying that whatever she said, if she said it, she wasn't serious about it. But in the context of stand-up...
We've all ranted. We all know what a rant is.
Yeah.
Okay, but the rant that she did, the particular people that she went after were trying to promote her career. They were not trying to tear her career down.
And you can tell when it's a bit versus
they were
when someone's going through therapy on stage.
Absolutely, but they're still able to use that as...
Right.
Right, because
their
if you-
rationale.
Yeah, right. But if you're trying to be especially that was an independent film that she had done, and they were trying to get it promoted. So if you're invited to Cannes, you should go to Cannes. You don't tell them.
I don't disagree with
that.
you.
Yeah, you should go, and you should go, and I think her career could have went so much farther because you don't just. I mean, she obviously blew him out of it. No one knew really who she was, and she made a great crossover, and her career should have. There's no telling where it could have went, but she basically said, I'm not going. You know.
Okay, were they paying for that? That's what I want to know also, because it's not cheap to go to Cannes, right? And she didn't make a lot of money for that movie.
Right, but I think the studio covers the costs because
Okay.
they're
If the
not
studio's like,
sending
we'll
you
pay
there
for
like on a
everything, then
vacation.
yeah, you're an asshole for
they're
going.
sending you
Right.
there to work to promote the film.
And also, look, we're still talking about you working.
Yeah.
Because you're only as good as your last performance. So the thing is, you need to network in Hollywood. So
Well, and also
I'm gonna
that's,
get there
you
some
know,
kind of way. If they're telling me to come and I'm about to win an Oscar, I'm going.
Well, and it's
I'm gonna find a
part
way.
of the job. It's,
Yeah, it is.
You know,
It is part of
you're when the cameras shut down, you have to go out and promote, and usually that is in your contract.
Right.
So maybe she is more trouble than somebody else, but the important thing is how many people want to watch her on Netflix, and that should be.
Well, she
the
does have
deciding factor.
she has a following. She does have a following.
Right.
The same way.
So it was Cat Williams.
Are
Yeah.
you getting an update on Tiger Woods? Is that what just happened?
No, I gotta put money in mine.
Cat Williams, right? And was still making like really good money for stand-up. So it's like your personal issues.
How did he make money while he was in jail?
No, I mean for stand-up. We're still getting paid like really well to do stand-up.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Despite any personal issues that people
he
might
had
have
gone
used
to
to
jail
judge
and
him,
he
you know
still
what I mean?
had a success.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I think people are using the fact that they don't like Monique as a person to justify saying that she doesn't deserve what she's asking for instead of actually looking at the numbers.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, there's, a lot of people have gotten in trouble for talking about the lack of nuance in the whole Me Too movement, but I think there's a difference between, Harvey Weinstein saying, "Oh, don't work with her; she's difficult," because she won't bang him, versus someone who's actually a pain in the ass. It's like, because it's been abused as an excuse doesn't mean that people shouldn't be identified as difficult.
But I don't think they offered her money based on whether she was difficult or not.
No, but I think that...
I think they were just assuming she doesn't have a draw.
Yeah, it's easier to, try and come up with other bullshit excuses, but if there is a root of, because when I was running a comedy show, and of course is a pretty lame parallel, but there are comics who I knew were, kind of a pain in the ass, but I knew they were funny and I knew they were a draw. So I would book them. And it's like, I will deal with the fallout, but it going to make it worth it. And I can understand if you're, mounting, even a cheap in Hollywood terms, $5 to $10 million feature. How much, when time is money, how much of that money do you want to spend on dealing with someone being a pain in the ass just because they can?
Now, the funny thing is she wants, a boycott of Netflix. Problem is, Netflix is really good right now. That's like saying, hey, don't watch the best stuff, to support her. And it's like, I don't know, is there some other way I can support
New season of Jessica Jones coming up in March, by the way.
Oh, is that right? Okay.
Yeah, very excited about it. But,
I'm boycotting right now. I am officially boycotting the NFL, but that just means not watching the Super Bowl, because that's all I was watching anyway. So it's pretty easy.
That's really all that's left.
I don't boycott things, and that might make me a bad person, but I just don't do it.
Oh.
I'll put thought into things.
I'll go to Chick-fil-A and not tell anyone that I went. I'll throw the bag in my neighbor's trash so no one knows.
Now, okay, you say that.
By the way, and not
to
out you, but, it's well known, although people listening to the podcast may not know you. You are a lesbian, so there is even more
I don't know.
humor.
Can they hear the gay voice?
I don't know.
They should have known.
Maybe, Tymon, you want to do an impression? No. Anyway.
Yeah. I'm trying to say, Bruno.
I say.
But yeah, so for you to go to
Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A, that has even more meaning for people who are going to get outraged.
Let me ask you this. Would you stay at a Trump hotel?
No.
So you're boycotting Trump. There you go.
Well, but
it's just a matter of
that could also be for other
level.
Factors of
like,
can
I
overpay to stay in a shitty hotel?
Right.
Well, you can fight to be who you want to be. Yeah. So hey, fight to be faith.
I don't even know what
that means, but it sounds profound.
Yeah.
Well, you fight to be the person that you want to be, so you live your life.
Unless you're a dickhead, in which case, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just fucking succumb and be nicer.
Like I always say that I fight for the right to be Tymon Shipp. You may not like what Tymon does, but I fight to be what Tymon is. And that's it. So
I mean, I applaud people who are, if there are any people actually boycotting Netflix, good for them.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
Yeah. We're boycotting because she said so.
She asked to. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, if you supported her, if you thought, well, yeah, she's not getting what she's due, but it is interesting because she's asking for a boycott of a company that offered her money but not enough.
Well, are we all? I mean,
if people did,
I've known. What was it? A comedian that was, the gig was 20 minutes away. They were offering him $5,000 for 30 minutes. $5,000.
Who books that?
Thank you. And his agent told him, "Don't take that gig." And see, that's when you don't tell your agent you're going to get the job, because $5,000 is still $5,000.
And you ask for cash,
right? And so you're still getting hooked up with $5,000, but that's because the agent didn't like his cut, because the agent gets a cut of that money that you're going to make. So her thing is she was getting $500,000 for about an hour gig.
Not to go all Billy Preston, nothing from nothing here, but how can your agent, that they make money off of you making money,
right? So because it's not enough, they wanted more money.
Well, maybe they thought he should have been paid $10,000, right?
Right. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. They should have. So some people would take that $5,000.
Mm-hmm.
I would take that right now. I mean, I don't know anything about this gig, but I'll take it.
A cruise gig is $5,000 for the week, or $3,500 to $5,000 if you do a cruise gig,
and a free Sunday bar.
Yeah. And you
if you can get the elderly folks on their rascals out of the way.
Yeah.
I won't do cruise gigs.
Why not?
Only because I can't swim.
We still haven't addressed this, have we? That guy with no arms really messed you up.
I can't swim either, so don't worry. But you'd like to gig. Yeah.
I feel like
actually, can we address the stereotype here? Because I'm not a strong swimmer, but there is the stereotype about black people not being able to swim.
Well, I think it also depends on how old you are, because I know people who are like, yeah, where my parents were growing up, they weren't allowed at the public pool.
Yeah, no,
so,
yeah, absolutely.
That might have something to do with it.
But then again, I know black folks that used to jump in ponds in Louisiana, and they learned how to swim. You have to be exposed. It's still about exposure.
I know Jewish athletes. I'm not saying like all the stereotypes are true, but
I was just traumatized and was like, never again. No.
Like I literally, I don't know if I've met a white person who said they don't know how to swim.
They're just not telling you.
Maybe so. But I have heard from many African Americans, and I also know that African Americans are like something like 4 times more likely to drown.
Tight.
What?
Great.
So no, I mean, this should. I would like to think there's a charity that focuses on this. I'm ready to go into your community and give them the week amount.
But
of
then
again,
there is the Olympic swimmer who was on the Olympic gold medalist team.
Mm-hmm.
He is going to black neighborhoods and teaching black kids how to swim.
Single-handedly?
Basically, yeah.
Nice.
He's going out and doing it.
Admittedly, I was older than the other kids when I became a minnow. That's the lowest level of swimming within the YMCA. Yeah. And it was like, I was 12 and the other kids were 6.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. But at least I got that,
And also, we always heard the whole thing, man, brothers don't swim. That's for white folks.
Yeah.
Used to hear that all the time in the hood. And I was like, you know what? But then again, when you go to California or you go to other places that, where it was, you started growing up and where, the ratio was mixed,
yeah,
there were a lot more black folks you saw that were swimming because they were